What's going on, guys? It is Tom and welcome back to a brand new video and a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode, and we are here for round number 8 of the season at Baku, and a track that I've not been looking forward to for quite some time now. But first things first, guys, if you did miss the previous episode, I honestly do urge you to go watch that episode. Something very special happened in that one, and I do urge you to go watch that before you come to this one. So do go check that one out. There'll be a card on the top right hand corner of the screen, and also a link down below in the description. But yeah, Canada was an absolute madness of a race, and if I get any sort of result like Canada, then I'll be very, very happy. So yeah, we're here in Baku, one that I've not looked forward to for a long time. We had a few issues with the upgrades, as you would have seen in the last episode right at the end. So we're coming here with the exact same car we had in Canada, which wasn't the plan. So we're going to be slightly on the back foot, and I was hoping to have some upgrades for this race. So instead, those will probably arrive in the Austrian Grand Prix. So it's going to be an interesting one here. Obviously, we're going to try our best and see what we can do. However, I have decided for this race, I'm going to take a extra power unit. So it's a race that I'm not expecting to qualify very well at, and it's probably my weakest one and my worst track on the calendar, both due to like the track being not a good one to drive with. Also, I'm not the fastest around here, and also that AI seems to be a bit OP. So all those factors combined, I've decided I'm going to take an engine penalty and also take a brand new gearbox. And yeah, we're going to just basically just try and have a good race from the back of the grid. So right now I'm just going to go through the practice program to get a couple of R&D points on the board, because I am planning on making an upgrade, one more this weekend before we go to Austria, and I believe that upgrade will be on the car, and we'll actually buy that at the end of the episode. So I do urge you to go stick around until the end of this race to see what upgrade we purchase, and if all goes well we should have 3 upgrades coming for Austria in the next race. So that should be pretty damn tasty. But as you can see, we're kind of going through the practice programs, rattling through them rather nicely, and again actually a couple of purple scores. However, I went for the race strategy after the fuel safe test because I wanted to do that first, and I thought, okay, I'll do the qualifying performance test after because I wanted to do the race strategy first, and I actually forgot to do the qualifying performance test, so I lost out on probably 50 resource points, 30 resource points there, but nevertheless not a major issue, and we're going to finish the race strategy test scoring a 50 points there. So a very solid practice session, and that's going to put away a couple of decent R&D points for us. But yeah, overall some good points to add to the tally, and those will help us basically get an upgrade at the end of this episode. But after practice, as you can see there, we've actually maxed out the simultaneous development tab. So basically we can now do as many upgrades at once as we want, so we can actually upgrade loads of stuff at once. But as you can see, we've got the 2 upgrades on the screen. So one of them is an engine upgrade for the next race in Austria, and that's going to be the first one of the engine upgrades we've ever done in this series to try and bring us level with Mercedes. And then we have another chassis upgrade, which hopefully will get us a little bit closer to Toro Rosso there. So 2 big upgrades coming in that department, and there'll be one more added on later on, so keep an eye out for that. But those are the upgrades that are currently pending on the car, and hopefully those will arrive for the next race. And as you can see, we're now going to switch over to the number 5 component for the season. I had a lot of comments from you guys saying to do this for this race, so I'm going to listen to you guys and do what you say. So we're going to switch all this over now, also the gearbox, to the 5th component, and basically start from the back of the grid for the race tomorrow. So we're not going to show qualifying, obviously, as you would expect. So hopefully we can have a good little last to first challenge here, or last question mark challenge in Baku for the race on Sunday. But yeah, that was practice, and we're now going to move on to Sunday for the race and see what we can do from the back of the grid. So round 8 at Baku, let's go. Right, so it's race day at Baku, and as you would have seen, we've taken basically a brand new engine and gearbox, because this is a track where the AI are stupidly OP. So I was going to qualify outside of the top 10 anyway and have this free tyre choice. I'm just a few places further down the grid, but I really didn't have the pace in practice, and by the end of the practice session I was like 15th or 16th, I think it was. So I had absolutely no pace in practice, so there's literally no point in me trying to achieve something that I was not gonna really achieve. So I may as well just start off from the back, have a free tyre strategy, and also have fresh engine and gearbox components, because why not? And also I've sort of gone on top of setups a little bit with this game, so I found a couple of tents here and there, so I may be in better shape than last season. If I could score a point or 2, that'd be great today. That's going to be the aim. I know it's a big sheer contrast compared to the last race, but if I can just get inside the top 10, for me, that'd be a good result this weekend and this race. So Overall, very excited. Obviously, it could have been a lot better if the upgrade situation had worked out better for me after Canada, and that classic event had not actually messed me up, because otherwise I probably wouldn't have done this engine change. But as you can see, either way, we're going to go from P20 race strategy wise. We're going to start on the soft compound tyres and switch over to the super softs, and also I'll put in a little extra bit of fuel just in case we need to use rich mix if necessary. But overall, I'm looking forward to this race, guys, and hopefully for the next one you can be a little bit more on the pace with the upgrades that should arrive for Austria. But for now, we're going to focus on this race at Baku for round 8 of the season. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the race. Right, here we go then. 5 red lights for round 8 of the season at Baku. Lights out and away we go from the last row of the grid here. Let's try and have a good race and hopefully a good opening lap here as we go into turn 1. Let's try and dive it cautiously though, just avoiding contacts. We've got the inside of a Sauber here. Now through turn 1, side by side with Marcus Ericsson. Now into turn 2, can we get past anybody else? It doesn't look like it's just a bit too tight with these wider cars, but we've made a good start here. Ericsson's coming back at me, and he's actually giving me a good old nudge. He's pushing me to the inside here, but we're just going to hold the inside line, and we should get past a couple of cars here under braking if I get it right. I'm just going to take it cautious because you just never know with the AI, but we got the inside of Fernando Alonso, who's actually fighting me back here. I'm going to have to go to the outside. Alonso going to the inside, forcing Verline actually out wide. I'm going to get a better traction though, and make the move on Fernando. Can I go up the inside of Verline here on the brakes? Yes, I can. There we go. Squeeze him out. And there we go, we've gotten past the 4 slowest cars. So now the challenge is to try and keep up with these guys up ahead. The Toro Rossos, the Williams, the Haas cars, all these sort of guys. So let's try and set into some rhythm now and try and keep up with these guys up ahead. Okay, we've got a yellow flag behind. So something's happened with either a McLaren or a Sauber into the castle section. So possible contact there. That car's not moved. So let's see what happens. I think he's got on his way now. So there we go. We're not going to get any safety car or anything for now. But Castle's going to be a very dangerous section this race for overtakes. Okay, so far I'm rather impressed. I feel like we've actually got the pace so far here behind Kvyat on the soft compound tyres. So let's keep going at the moment, but I've got some pretty good pace. I'm keeping up with these guys rather comfortably, and it's not like they're fiercely batting or losing time. I'm just genuinely keeping up with them. So this is very good so far, and very encouraging signs. Now we are in the slipstream of Kvyat here. He's not really got much of a tow on Magnussen up ahead, so I am gaining on him. Can I make enough ground up to make a move into turn 1? I think I might, you know. I'm getting pretty close here. Should I go for the dive on the brakes? Let's have a look. Oh, not quite. Just not close enough there. And also, Kvyat on the super softs just got a little bit too much grip. But DRS now enabled, so we'll get that next time round. But we're looking pretty racy here, and I think I can get a move on Danny Kvyat. Okay, this time a much nicer run through there. DRS is now enabled this lap. This time we are much closer to Danny Kvyat, and he's also much closer to Kevin Magnussen this time round. So here we go. We're already gaining ground up on the Toro Rosso here. The fresh engine really paying off here, especially on this huge straight. And here we go, right in the slipstream of Kvyat. We're going to pull to the left-hand side and now open up the DRS here. And let's try and make a move on Kvyat, which we do successfully pull off. And we're now up into 15th place, and a personal best in the process as we now try and get past both of the Haas cars. So let's try and see if we can keep up with those boys and try and make the move next time round. I'll say this, the car feels way better than practice and qualifying. It actually feels so much better than the race in season 1 around here. So the improvements on the car, especially in the aero, are definitely paying off because the car does feel better. Also the setup's working very nicely around here in race conditions, and I'm very impressed at how well the pace is at the moment. I've got to say, this is a huge improvement over season 1, and one that I did not see coming, especially even after this practice. So this is very good for us right now. Okay, here we go. They're waiting for the DRS to become available. Can I make up enough ground on Kevin Magnussen, who also has DRS on his teammate into turn 1? We're getting close, but I don't think we're going to be close enough here to make the dive unless we go for it very late on the brakes, which I have done, and I've gone for it. A little bit of contact, but I've made the move work. And there we go, we're up to P13, P14, so very nice move there. And we're now going to pick up the DRS through here, so good exit, crucial bit of good traction, and we can now try and race after Romain Grosjean. Here comes Kevin Magnussen, he's absolutely flying. That Haas is bloody quick in slipstream. I've got to say, he's got some ridiculous straight line speed, and he's comfortably made the move with DRS. Kvyat's right there still, but K-Mag re-inherits P14 for now, but we're not giving up just yet. It's just mainly DRS pass. There's a Red Bull there just in front of Grosjean. So that Red Bull's definitely not had a good start to this race. But still, I feel very good about myself, and just trying to keep the tyres in because we've got some good pace. And hopefully once a few cars pit, we can turn up to rich mix and try and overcut some of these guys on these tyres if I've got any tyres left, which is hopefully going to be the goal. Okay, now here comes Kvyat. For some reason I've dropped out of DRS and Magnussen, even though I was only 6 tenths behind in the middle sector. I feel like these guys have now all of a sudden turned up to rich mix because they've all just found like a couple of tenths of a second. Either way, our pace is still very good. I mean, I'm setting personal best, so that's not too bad, but as long as we keep up with this pack on these soft compound tyres, we'll be okay. I'm not too concerned. Right, so we've got a yellow flag, few cars coming into the pit lane also, so all things kicking off here. Personal best up of the race, and let's see what happens. But right now we're going to get a few places up into P12, and now is about the time to start pushing. So into rich mix, these laps are important now. These are the ones I've been waiting for, so let's try and now squeeze everything out of the car and see what our pace is like. Okay, Mr. Sebastian Vettel is closing on me now rather quickly, and these guys on the super soft still haven't pitted. So here comes Seb. I'm going to pull over to the right hand side. I'm going to let him have freeway on the left. It looks like now most of the super soft runners are going to come into the pit lane, and Sebastian, who started on the supers, has gone to another set of super soft, so he's going to do another stop at some point in this race, which means that right overtake was for net position, which is rather interesting. So still, we're going to continue on here. Those on supers, like I said, are coming for their one and only stop of the race. I'm staying out for about 2 more laps, so let's try and make some good laps. Let's look at the traction difference on those fresh super soft tyres on Vettel there, but hopefully once I go on those tyres, I have some pretty good pace and I can fight into the points then. Right then, so into the pit lane for our first stop of the race. We're in P5. A few people did their final stops off of the super soft compound tyres, but let's push the pit entry now and see what we can do here. And I say push it, I was rather cautious, but still better than getting a speeding penalty. But right, let's see where we are. So there's Ocon. He's just gone by, so let's see what happens. Palmer's retired from the race in the meantime. A 2.2 pit stop, absolutely fantastic. And we're now on to the super soft compound tyres, which I'm very much looking forward to here. So let's see where we rejoin. It's looking like P14 for us, so not too bad. But now let's see what our pace is like. We are going to rejoin obviously behind all the traffic that we was behind before anyway, but we're now on a much more competitive tyre, so let's have a little bit of fun on these now. And we've only got to get past 3 cars to get into the points, so actually no, 4 cars, but I reckon we can do it because we've got enough laps left. So let's go on the charge here. Right, it looks like we've got a car in the pit lane. It's Danny Kvyat, also another car in the pit lane, so it looks like we've got a few 2-stoppers in this race, but personal best up of the race there, 1.4 up on my former PB. We've got Felipe Massa just leaving the pits there with fresh, soft tyres, so let's try and get nice and close to him. We are in rich mix here, so we're going to use the last bit up, trying to maybe get past Felipe here. Pretty good traction out of there. He's got some pretty good traction himself, but I don't think we'll have to pace the race Massa, to be honest. So as long as we just keep up with him, that'll be pretty good, I think. So let's just try and follow Felipe through the streets of Baku, and hopefully he can bring us towards a few more points. We are slowly bunching up, but it's so frustrating seeing a P9 just up the road, and obviously these tyres are not getting any fresher or any newer, so Massa's sort of dragging me up there now, but I'm now out of Massa's DRS, but we are catching, which is crucial, and I'm just hoping that Massa has a battle with these guys. That's the only hope I've got of scoring points now, because we are just struggling to catch these guys up. Okay, so I've caught up to the back of this train of cars, which is being led by Lance Stroll. It was a Toro Rosso of Sainz who was holding these guys up because Stroll was going to move on here, but Magnussen's had a poor run through that corner there, and I'm going to get up the inside of Massa. Hopefully Massa backs out of it through here. If not, we're going to have trouble. Massa's still there on my inside. I'm going to use the slipstream of Magnussen to try and stay ahead, and here we go then. Now let's try and wait for the DRS to become available and fly past the Dane. DRS wide open and pulled to the inside for P11. Come on, let's try and make this move. Massa's on my inside here. He's going to give me a good old run on the inside. I'm going to have to try and squeeze him on the brakes here. He's still committed to the move. Around the outside of Felipe. Can I pull it off? Just about. Yes, I do. And I'm ahead of Massa for now, but we've got one more DRS zone to negotiate here, so let's see what my traction's like. And it's pretty okay, nothing spectacular, but here comes Massa anyway, and he's going to make the move. Hopefully we can try and catch up to Sainz here. I don't want to battle too much, so I'm going to let Massa go for now, and hopefully he can drag me up to the back of Sainz the same way he dragged me up to the back of these guys before. Okay, so we've all bunched up again. Massa's made the move on Sainz, and Massa's now hunting down his teammate for P9, so let's see if those two have a bit of a battle, because that's going to give us a good chance for points here. But Sainz up ahead here for P11. We need Massa and Stroll to have a battle if we want any chance of scoring points here today. Right, I've got the run on Sainz. Massa's pulled away quite a bit here, but have we got enough to make the move on the brakes up the inside of the Spaniard? A little bit of wheel banging there, but we're going to just squirt the traction on, and there we go. We've made the move up into P11, but we now need Williams to somewhat implode if we want to score points in this Baku race. Right, on to the last lap of the race. We have DRS on Lance Stroll here, so I'm going to save a little bit of extra fuel so I can deploy Rich Mix on this exact same point the next lap. So let's try and catch him. Okay, here we go, out of the final main corner here. We're going to deploy the Rich Mix now early on. I don't think I'm close enough to make the move on Stroll here. I think he's just too far ahead, and also it's not like it's McLaren Honda or anything. It's a bloody Williams, so yeah, I think Stroll's got it, and we're going to come home in a disappointing P11 here. So not the best. Hamilton wins it, and we almost managed to get a point. I said I'd be happy with a point this race if we get inside top 10, but just a place shy there. But definitely an improvement on last year. I think I scored points in last year's race, I think, or I wasn't too far off, but I actually can't remember. Either way, this race felt like more of an improvement on last season, and that was without the upgrades that I was planning to bring for this race. You know, who knows, maybe with those 2 upgrades that might have made the difference between me finishing 11th or finishing 10th this race. But other than that, Hamilton wins it, as you can see there. Good result for him, and Ferrari and a Red Bull on the podium with him. So not too bad there for Mercedes. They'll be pretty damn happy with that result. Also, Massa, as you can see in P9, a good recovery from him after doing that 2-stop strategy and finishing in a pretty good result. As you can see, looking at the podium, absolutely confirmed as Hamilton wins at Baku, and he's much more on form this season compared to last year. Raikkonen in P2 and Verstappen in 3rd place. So not too bad there, actually. Pretty good result for Verstappen in the Red Bull car. And unfortunately this race, the main thing is that we didn't beat our teammate. However, I believe, no, we actually just missed out on Stroll because Stroll was our rival. So unfortunately not a good race for us, missing out on all departments. But still, P20 to P11 around Baku is not too bad. But yeah, we're now going to move into the final race results. And as you can see, looking at the final race results, Lewis Hamilton wins for Ferrari ahead of Kimi and Max Verstappen. There's Sebastian Vettel in P4 and Esteban Ocon in an incredible P5, and a very good result for him there, getting some good points for the full senior team, beating Valtteri Bottas on the exact same one-stop strategy. So fair play to him. Really good race from my teammate there. And then Daniel Ricciardo in P7 ahead of Nico Hulkenberg, and Massa in P9 ahead of his teammate Lance Stroll, and we come home in P11. But not too bad. I'm not too disappointed with that, and Ocon's brought home some good points for the team there. But looking at the drivers and constructors standings now, we are still in P7, and Ocon's gained a nice little chunk of points there, but he's still a little bit far behind Massa. Meanwhile, Massa equal on points with me, and Raikkonen leading the way in the Drivers' Championship with Hamilton in 3rd place there, trying to make a chase after the Ferraris after a couple of good results in the last few races. And looking at constructors standings, now you can see that Ferrari are leading the way ahead of Mercedes, and Mercedes are about, 30 odd points ahead of Red Bull there, and then Force India holding P4 comfortably above Williams there by 26 points. So the battle for 4th is still the same as last season with Williams versus Force India, but we've got a couple of good upgrades coming for the next race. And speaking of upgrades, we're going to jump into the R&D screen quickly and see how things shape up after this race. Okay, so here we are then, and we're going to jump into the laptop. I'm going to purchase a 3rd upgrade, and it's going to be in the durability side of things, and we're going to be purchasing a gearbox wear, because I want to try and make sure the gearbox gets more life. So as you can see, we're going to go for the gearbox wear here and purchase this, and hopefully that means we should be able to get 6 races out of the gearbox with that now. So hopefully that helps us, but for the next race we've got 3 upgrades coming in, so that should be pretty good. Also, you would have seen earlier on in the competencies tab, we maxed out the simultaneous development. So as you can see here, this one here, maxing out the simultaneous development so we can work on different parts at the same time. And basically, there is no limit, so we can be working on multiple car parts at the same time. So basically, those 3 upgrades that we just purchased are being worked on right now as we speak. So hopefully those arrive in time for the next race in Austria, and hopefully, touch wood, we have no major failures. But if those upgrades are going to arrive in time, we're going to be bang on par with Williams for the Austrian Grand Prix. But other than that, guys, that has been this episode of Career Mode. If you have enjoyed it, then smash the like button. Let's see if we can try and smash 300 likes in this episode. Also, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and also check out these videos on the screen right now if you haven't done so already. But other than that, guys, I thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.